And this is their new hoax. But, you know, we did something that's been pretty amazing. We're 15 people in this massive country. And because of the fact that we went early, we could have had a lot more than that. We're doing great. Our country is doing so great. We are so unified.
That was then President Donald Trump, February 28th, 2020. And do you know what that day was? It wasn't just the day where he declared concern over the pandemic to be a hoax and saying we're all unified around this. That was the day before the first US COVID death. A day after that, health officials in Washington said a coronavirus patient in their state had died. February 29th, or March 1st for 2020. And do you know what today is, or at least this week? This is the week where we officially at least pass 1 million deaths. So in the time from his hoax comment to now, 1 million Americans officially on the records as having died. That is equivalent to the population of San Jose, California, the 10th largest city in the entire country. It's the equivalent of every single one of those people dying in just a couple short years. Now, realistically, we have to acknowledge that we passed the 1 million deaths mark some time ago. Was it months ago? Was it a year ago? We don't know, because we'll never know everybody who died or got sick as a result of this. This is the official numbers. 1 million, Viviana, in just a short period of time. And we worried back then that this might happen. It seemed insane. I mean, how could it? But we were worried that we would pass the million mark. I don't think we were sufficiently worried about what if we reach the million mark and nobody cares? What if it's barely even acknowledged as a milestone? What if even some people in the audience might be thinking, well, this seems like a weird thing to be focusing on. Like, we never would have predicted 2 years ago that we wouldn't care at all about more than 1 million people having died needlessly from COVID.
The apathy. It far surpasses the Spanish flu. I mean, even percentage wise, I think for population, per capita. So, this is really the power of slanted media, really making people feel like there's no fear. Knowing, oh, well, anecdotally, I know somebody that survived it. It's okay. Yeah, they died, but they were sick anyway. Really callous. We've gotten to a place in a moral place in our society where we have really divorced ourselves from our communities. And we really work as individuals. I mean, it's really quite the American ideology of very individualistic, and it's becoming very extreme to the point where we see others suffering and we shrug our shoulders and like, well, I'm okay. Wait till your house is burning, then you might be concerned, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I know that I'll probably end up boring a lot of even our fans by going back over this, because a lot of people started listening to the show during the pandemic, during the beginning when we went into lockdown and everything. Like, we every day were giving people updates. We were tracking the insane things that our government was doing and saying, and providing what seemed like much needed criticism of that effort. And we know all that happened. Like, he said it was a hoax. Obviously, it wasn't a hoax. He said that we were unified. Now, look, Trump, he did a lot of damage. What's that? Well, at that point, there were 15 cases at that point.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's crazy now.
We've had, it's like 60% of the American public has had COVID at one point or another. But he's not even the worst in terms of trying to like unify people against the effort. Like, Fox News has made their entire business model making people opposed to anything that would stop these deaths from being even higher than they are. And the thing is, it isn't just that we've passed 1 million deaths. It's how bad that is when you look at the rest of the world. So if we bring up this chart, you're gonna see cumulative deaths throughout the pandemic or just during the Omicron wave. We could have been any of those other countries. We could have had the death rate of France or the Netherlands or Canada or really Japan. It would have been difficult. It would have required I almost wanted to say a lot more sacrifice. I would say sacrifice, but we chose not to. And so we didn't just lose lots of people. We lost way, way, way more than we needed to compared to others. And there has been a lot of death around the globe. Let's be clear about that. The WHO said earlier today that they estimate 14.9 million people around the world have died directly or indirectly from the pandemic. That's more than the 6 million officially reported.
It's not over. It's not over.
Done.
That's the thing that's scary about it, is everybody thinks it's over. It's not. And we're gonna go towards summer, things will warm up. So yeah, a little less interaction between people, but these variants are coming at us, man. faster than we can get the vaccines ready for them. Not to mention there's a whole group of people that don't even want to deal with the vaccine still. They don't believe in it. There's a lot of hatred. When you do talk about the negative part of COVID-19 and the deaths, there's a lot of blame still, especially these shock jocks, the extremist right-wing shock jocks calling it China virus and really perpetuating a lot of ugliness. It's a sad place to be, and it's a little bit scary because if we do get a really nasty variant, we are not prepared.
No, I mean people are pretty much done. I mean we have the benefit that some of the most recent variants are not as intense, particularly if you're vaccinated. And we've reached about as much vaccination as we're likely to ever have. It's higher than it was in past waves, so we have those things benefiting us. But in terms of societal response, it's going to be effectively nothing, and government response, it's basically nothing. Especially once the Republicans take over in November, the Democrats won't be able to do literally anything in terms of funding. So everybody needs to prepare in the best way that we can, which is this. I'm gonna need you all to do this. We can do this right now. I'm gonna need you to cross your fingers because that's what we've got.
That's
cross
what we
your
got.
Fingers, and maybe it won't get bad again.
It's been a blessing and a curse that children haven't been affected as much with COVID-19 as they were during the Spanish flu pandemic. So if it gets to the point where children are getting sick, maybe people will be a little bit more involved and care a little bit more about vaccines, et cetera, and how to prevent things, wearing masks, maybe. But maybe they only care for their unborn children. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Really fast, and this is to catch us up to now. Oh, by the way, I wanted to quickly mention, so the 14.9 million deaths worldwide. The WHO has a new analysis specifically in India. They think the missed deaths that are not officially recorded, are from 3.3 million to 6.5 million.
Oh my God, that's a big gap.
We're just not seen. That's a pretty massive gap. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, look, we're gonna be hearing, reports for the rest of our life, trying to figure out exactly how many more people died than are officially recorded. And along the way, a significant chunk of the population won't even accept the official count as actually being that many.
It's all fake news.
Anyway, to catch up to now, here's a map. If we could jump ahead of this map of the United States, it is case count change in the last 2 weeks. And you can see there, if you're in the orange, that is cases continuing to decrease. So Arizona, Oklahoma, that's good. And then as you move towards the increasing numbers, that's in the Pacific Northwest, the East Coast as well. You can see that Florida's starting to go up, and so that's not good. Cases are rising in all but 4 states. And if you look at this, you're going to see cases are up now 54% daily average over 2 weeks ago. Hospitalizations are up 19%, still low, but up 19%. ICU numbers are starting to creep up, and the deaths, which that number had been negative for a long time. It's going down, daily average. It is just about to hit 0, and then nobody can predict what direction it'll turn from there. I'm kidding.
I blame Coachella. I blame Coachella.
Maybe, I'm sure it didn't help. But anyway, I'm sure it was worth it. But whatever. Yeah. So I'm giving you these numbers knowing that nothing is going to be done to stop this. I just don't want you to be sort of surprised along the way.
No, and if we get a more nasty variant, people are not going to wear their masks. They're not going to, we're not going to have another lockdown. The American public will not stand for it.
No, and no one, more importantly, no one will propose it, I think. The most we can hope for is in some areas, maybe they will mandate masks, but probably not even that.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.